What's going on, everybody? This is Afro Think Tank. Today, I'm going to bring something up that will definitively, even though we've already proved it, it's all but proven that the Egyptians, the ones who built all those megalithic structures in that great civilization, were nothing but black Africans, and that everybody else there are just invaders. All right, it's one point that I'm going to make amongst the many points. We already proved it, genetics, right? They ain't found one piece of DNA evidence that any of them Arabs, them Turkmen, them European converts, all right, them mixed mulattoes of conquered nations are the freaking ancient Egyptians, even though they like to cosplay it, right? They like to cosplay it, right? Even though linguistically we know that they don't have their language. And nothing that they say is consistent with the rest of African languages, even because Egyptian languages is consistent with African languages, because there are Africans who still speak those languages now, okay? Culturally, we already proven that those Arabs culturally have no cultural consistency with those people they say they are descendant from, because there's nothing in that desert, there's nothing about those Arab people culturally that matches up with African people. Culturally, but everything about Egypt matches blow for blow, demigod for demigod, Orisha for Orisha, all right? Spirituality for spirituality, right? Depictions of oneself utilizing colors with depictions of oneself utilizing colors, right? All African cultural consistency, right? But there's one very important, the most important thing is that African people, right? We don't play with our dead. That's one thing about African people. We do not play with our dead at all, right? Cultural consistency throughout the whole continent. When it comes to our elders, and when they pass on to the other side, we take great pride and care to take care of their bodies in any manner in which we, culturally, prepare them to move on to be with the ancestors, right? And we don't desecrate our grave sites. You see, that's a European barbarian thing. Only Europeans do that. And Arab barbarians do that. You see, if the Egyptians, the modern day Egyptians, right? Those Arab, Turkmen, Greeks, and Roman converts, if they was really Egyptian, if there was a continuous Egyptian culture, if that was actually true, there was absolutely no way they would put any of those pyramids, those tombs, any of that on display for public view. There would not be a goddamn tourist industry wrapped around the dead. Those Arabs that you see in Egypt are the invaders who tomb raided our African tombs, took all the gold, took all the jewels, took all the diamonds, took all the culture, and they're currently cosplaying as they sell those trinkets that they found after they desecrated the grave sites of our African brothers and sisters who built that great civilization. Oh yeah, did you know before Egypt, because we always talk about Egypt as if Egypt was the first group of people that was there. There were black Africans there before Egypt, right? That had great civilizations before Egypt. There was a great civilization before Egypt there that they act like didn't exist. All right, I just want to throw that out. But the mere fact that Egypt, these Arab invaders that's still there, they hadn't left yet, right? The mere fact that they allowed the entire world to come and desecrate those pyramids. You see, had those pyramids, been in West Africa, right? Had those pyramids been in Central Africa, right? Which they do actually have pyramids in West Africa and Central Africa. You know why you don't know about them? Because one, they don't like to promote it. Number two, if they're grave sites, they don't allow outsiders to desecrate them. It's not a tourist attraction. Do we go to the goddamn funeral home and go dig up bodies and shit and go take a look at those people? Huh? In America, do we go to the goddamn The goddamn big old fields with the funeral. Do we go and play with the dead? You see, black people don't play with the dead. You Arabs play with the dead. That's what you do. You Arabs play with the dead. Africans don't play with the dead. The mere fact that you consistently, institutionally, industrially disrespect those Africans by putting their bodies on display. You literally take the bodies out of the tomb and you put them on display in glass. No descendant of those great Egyptians would ever disrespect their ancestors like that for some money. You see, African people got pride when it comes with. That's the one thing. We don't play with the dead. Never play with the dead. Now, going to see the pyramids? Yes. Going to see all the other structures? Yes, no problem. But going inside those tombs? No real black African goddamn group of people would ever allow that to happen. There are places in Nigeria that just because it's there, is a monument, it's a statue to ancient, you can't just go there and dig up the goddamn ground so you can take some great king, some great Oba, some great priest out the ground and put him in a goddamn glass case for the display for the white folk. Have anybody ever thought about that? The whole tourist industry wrapped around modern day Egypt is parading the black African dead for the world to see. Is anybody in Rome digging up them Romans? Huh? Is anybody in Rome digging up them Romans? Them old Romans. And is anybody in Greece digging up and putting them Greeks on display in glass since they so great? Huh? Where the museums with all them white folk, supposedly because the Greeks weren't white, by the way. All right, they weren't white. Where's the tomb disrespecting them? Huh? Why can't I go see some Greek person in glass? Why can't I see that? Why can't I go see the tomb of Roman emperors and shit? Right? All these Roman emperors that were so great that you guys all so prop up, huh? Why can't I go to Ireland and go see William Wallace somewhere? Huh? Or some of these great kings that y'all had in Europe and shit. How come I can't go see them in glass? Why? But somehow, these so-called Egyptians who say that they are the descendants of the great Egyptians and that North Africa has always looked like that. Why is it that they disrespect the dead, knowing damn well the whole idea of the burial process is to respect the dead? The whole idea of preserving him is to respect the spirit. To preserve. You took all that shit out them tombs and put them in glass cases for white folk for them dollars. No self-respecting descendant would ever do that to the ancestors. Money is not everything. And the restful soul of your ancestors is more important than them dollars them white savage barbarians give you while you still in the desert, kowtowing to those white Europeans cosplaying Jews. And no self-respecting Egyptian would ever kowtow to some Jews. That's another thing. If you was really Egyptian, you would be dominating that area. You would take that area out of just pure self-respect. Real Egyptians don't fuck with no Arabs. They dominated Arabs. You Arabs are a result of Egyptian dominance in the area. That's what you guys are. You guys are not those people. And I want everybody to take a second and think about how disrespectful Egypt is. Their government is disrespectful. Not all their people, obviously, but their government and the people in charge, how they disrespect the dead on a daily basis for dollars. No descendant of the great Egyptians would ever do no shit like that. Anyway, I think I've made my point. That's all I gotta say. It's Afro Think Tank. Learn something, teach something. I'm out. And another thing, if you was really those Egyptians, you would have restored those noses. Why you ain't restore those noses, huh? Go ahead and put your motherfucking nose on there. Go ahead and put your nose on there because you know that ain't your nose. That's why you ain't put it on there. That's why you ain't restored. You can restore everything else and whitewash it for yourself, but you can't restore them noses. You see, if y'all was really the descendants of them Egyptians, y'all had some pride about you and you'd have fixed them noses instead of leaving them noses off because you know goddamn well them noses prove it for in fact that they black Africans. And y'all can't put y'all noses on there because that shit won't look right. Just like y'all don't look right when y'all try to pretend and wear Egyptian clothes with your goddamn desert spacesuits. Peace.
Free Sudan! Boycott diamonds and gold! Free Sudan! Boycott diamonds and gold! We most definitely cannot forget about the people of Sudan.
Thanks for watching Afro Think Tank. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And follow me on Substack and Patreon for more content. Remember, it's Pan-Africanism or nothing.